we're gonna be moving to Arizona.
I'm watching Brandon do nothing. Let her go.
Welcome back to my vlog. This is supposed to be my week 5 marathon training video, but there has been a huge interruption in my training plan. I mentioned last week that we are going to be moving. We're going to be moving to Arizona, and I was wanting it to happen within the next 2 weeks. We had a house all lined up. We were ready to put the deposit down and finalize everything. And then we just started to see some red flags and realized there is a 99.9% chance that this is a fraudulent transaction. So we're discovering how hard it is to move out of state and rent a place because we're just not there in person to check things out, and we are so busy for the next 2 weeks. So trying to find a home during all this shooting has been really difficult. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Dia. I'm a photographer currently living in San Diego, and I've been doing weekly vlogs of my marathon training, but I figured for the next week or two, I'm going to still try to fit in some runs. They're not going to be a part of my marathon training program runs, which is another thing. I was supposed to be running the Carlsbad Marathon in January, and I just don't think it's going to happen. I think once we move, I'm just not going to want to have to drive all the way back down here for a marathon. So I'm gonna find another marathon to run once we're all settled. And today is the day we're kind of realizing that this beautiful home we thought we were gonna rent is most likely not gonna happen. So we're back at square one trying to figure out what to do again. We're already starting to pack up some stuff. It's really hard because we're gonna have to do it in between all of these shoots. And yeah, I'm hoping to be out of here by October 2nd. I would like to be out of here. It would be by the 1st, but we have a huge shoot on that Sunday, so it would just be impossible for us to try and move. So October 2nd it is, and I'll bring you guys along with me and hopefully record our new little journey for you. Hey guys, I just wanted to pop in here and give you a few updates before we continue with this video. I am in Arizona now. As you can tell, I am recovering from being sick. I actually completely lost my voice for a good few days there, but I'm starting to feel better. And I just wanted to touch on a few of the things that I mentioned because the move was chaos for me, and I feel like I didn't have a minute to sit down with you guys and explain anything, mainly because our move ended up moving up almost a week. So we weren't supposed to move until after the weekend, which was like October 2nd. We ended up finding a home, and I just really wanted to get the move done. So we went ahead and moved on the 27th and 28th. So I ended up leaving the weekend before our big photo shoot, and we just ended up hiring some other photographers to take mine and my daughter's place so that we could get settled here. And my husband flew back to California and has been there for the past couple of weeks now, still finishing out business. If any of you guys have been following me, I know the move seems kind of sudden. We've known for quite some time now that we were done living in California and we were either going to move to Texas or Arizona. It was easier to transfer our business over to Arizona than to Texas because we have a lot of equipment and a lot of overlap in photo shoots. Like I said, my husband is actually still there, but then he's going to fly out here during the week and then fly back there on the weekends. So doing that here in Arizona was going to be easier than in Texas. And my son lives here in Arizona. My daughter, who went to ASU and then moved back home to San Diego, was planning on coming back to Arizona because it turns out it's not Arizona that wasn't for her. It was school that just wasn't for her because she wasn't really sure what she wanted to do. So she planned on coming back out here too. So we figured, why not, at least for the next couple years, check out Arizona and see how we like it. So here we are. I did want to touch on the fraud thing. Because we were in California and everything had to be online, we fell in love with a home that was for rent, and we originally found it on realtor.com, and we were in the middle of a really busy shoot weekend when we were going through the process of being approved to rent this house. So we weren't really paying attention to the details, and the process was really easy. It was for rent by owner, which is not something we noticed until a little bit later. But we got approved. It got down to the point where we were going to wire the deposit. And then I started seeing stuff about being careful about wiring money, because it's basically like giving somebody cash, and once you give them the cash you can't get it back, so make sure you know who you're giving it to. And that got me wondering a little, but like I said, we were just so busy, we weren't really paying attention to the details. So we went ahead and wired the money, and then thankfully my bank put the wire on hold and said that they weren't going to finish the wire transfer until they spoke to me. So we kind of started looking into it after that, and we had been communicating with the guy who was going to be renting us the house, and everything seemed legit. One of the things that they say to do to make sure it's not a scam is to make sure you tour the house in person, and that was the one thing we hadn't done because we were in California. But my son lives here, so we asked the guy, hey, I'm gonna send my son to go look at the house, and we decided that if everything went okay, we'd go ahead and go with the wire transfer. But all of a sudden things were coming up. Wait, I can't meet him at that time. I can meet him later in the day. Can he meet me later in the day? And then a few hours would go by and he'd say, oh, I can't meet him at that time. And all the red flags started to go up. I did not want to believe it because I just didn't want to have to start at square one again looking for a house. But we were still honestly wavering because he said he would meet my son the next morning. But then that night we got a notification from one of the rental sites that the house was on saying that they believe it might be a scam. So then we told him, okay, hey, before we go through with this, can we see your name on like a utility bill or something? And he kind of all of a sudden changed personalities and got an attitude with us and said, of course it's my house. I gave you guys the contract and everything. And then we started to look at the contract, and we had signed it while we were on location at a shoot, and we realized that all it was a Google Doc. Anybody can create a Google Doc. So we told him that's not proof. Can you please show us more? And he acted offended, and we said, okay, if not, then we're not going to go through with this deal and we're not going to transfer the money. And he got upset and said he had pulled it off the market for us and all sorts of stuff. And then he just disappeared. So it was a scam, and it's really scary to think about the amount of money we could have been out. I'm very grateful for my bank, for the message they sent, for the rental company and the message they sent. We had to start at square one and look for a house again. And I had another one that I was looking at that I really loved, but it was a 2-story house. And if you've been around a while, you know that I have a disabled dog. So the thought of having to carry my dog up and down the stairs with me every time I decide to work upstairs or downstairs did not sound appealing. I've lived in 2-story houses before, and I just really prefer 1-story houses, but I really liked how this house looked. It was through a rental agency. We made sure everything was legit, and then we went ahead and made a deposit, signed a contract. We realized at that time that the process was a lot more lengthy and more detailed than what we went through with the other guy. So that was another red flag there, but it's so scary because we were just busy. We always say, how do people fall for scams and stuff like that? Like literally we were so busy, we weren't even paying attention, and the thought wasn't even in our heads that somebody would do something like that. So if you're renting, especially from another state, make sure places like Zillow and realtor.com, they all have on their guidelines that you should follow when renting a house to make sure you don't get scammed. So we should have paid more attention to that. But We are here and I absolutely love where we're at. We've only been here, let's see, it's gonna be almost 2 weeks and I love it. I can't wait until my husband can come back and stay here with us full time. He is kind of bouncing back and forth right now and he's really excited too because, you know, we're just ready to make Arizona our new home. And I know the weather is extremely different from Arizona to San Diego, but I have lived in desert weather before, so I'm very familiar with it. And I am actually preferring the dry heat over the moisture that was San Diego. So I want to apologize. I did not get much of the move. It was a lot and we should have just hired movers, but because we didn't know exactly where we were moving and it was in such a short time frame, we didn't. It was rough. But we are here. You're gonna see the few little clips that I have from the day we moved. We left super early in the morning. My husband drove the truck and my daughter and I were following him, which by the way, I had to leave a couple things behind. I had to leave my bed behind, which made me really sad. But anyway, my husband was in the truck. We were following behind him. We got about a half hour out and realized that we left my vacuum and our server, which has all of our work on it, back at the apartment. And the reason we overlooked that was because my husband was going to be flying back the next day and staying in the apartment for one more day just to kind of clean it up and stuff. So some of his stuff was already there and some stuff we were going to be giving away was still there. And we just totally missed it because it was behind a door. So my daughter and I had to drive back, get that stuff. And by the time we got to Arizona, it was already just later in the day. But I am so excited and let's get into the rest of this move. Hey guys, I am struggling right now. This is what most of my apartment looks like. I don't even know what day it is anymore. My husband's out doing a makeup day shoot right now and I feel like all I have been doing is editing nonstop and I want to be excited about this move, but I am struggling so hard right now because we just have so much to do. It's 6:10 in the evening and this is still the state of our apartment.
Chaos. And my green bag in the back zipper pocket.
And we are just about done.
I have to leave all that behind. I had to leave my bed. And the doggies are being so good. Guys are being so good.
It's 4:30 now and we got up at 4. We probably got about 2 hours of sleep. I'm so tired. I just want to get there and to take a nap. But we're up, we're getting ready to leave. It should be about a 5-hour drive, but we have the dogs and we might have to, it always ends up taking us 6 hours because of the dogs and having to stop or anything like that. So I'm so tired. And my body is shaking. I'm so exhausted. Trying to choke this down right now because it's 4 in the morning and who needs a Red Bull at 4 in the morning? I can't say I'm really sad. I thought I would feel more sad, especially seeing this apartment empty, but I don't. I'm just excited and I want to move on. So I can't wait to get to our new home and say goodbye to California.
Look at that.
Footage that you're gonna see on my phone of me walking through the house is literally the first time I saw this house in person, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit disappointed at first. I'm very particular, and I really like to take care of my home. And there were just some things like broken blinds, cabinets that were kind of hanging crooked, and handles that were missing screws on cabinets, and a blue room. My daughter's room is blue. 2 of the walls are, and that was not in the pictures that they showed for the house. So we had no idea one of the rooms was going to be blue. So that was a shocker. And of course, already within a week, we repainted it because my daughter couldn't handle the blue. So there was just a few things that I was like, but we talked to the rental agency, and they had a repair guy come out and fix almost all of this stuff for us. And now that we no longer have a blue room, my daughter's happy too. I hope you guys enjoyed this moving vlog. I was watching so many moving vlogs, and I thought, I got it together. I can do this, and I'm gonna film it all. And then it just all went by, and I didn't film it. So I apologize for that. I really wanted to do a moving vlog. But now that we're here and moved in, I'll probably do a tour for you guys. I still have a few things around, pictures that I need to hang, a couple of items that we would like to buy. We had to buy a dining room table, which thank God my kids were here with me and they helped me build everything and put everything together. But there's more that we'd like to do, and I can't wait to share it with you because I have been so sick and just the new environment and everything. I have not taken the time to run or work out at all. And today we're coming up on 2 weeks. So I'm hoping Monday I'm gonna start again. I still want to find a marathon to run, and that's about it. I can't wait to make a few videos updating my planners. Oh, that's another thing. I ordered my sterling ink for 2024, and it got shipped right around the time we were finding out our new address. So I wasn't able to tell her my new address to ship it to, and I did the change with USPS, but for some reason that didn't get included in the change. And thankfully my husband still is in San Diego, because I showed that it got delivered to the mail room at my old apartment. So he swung by to check it out. They took him to the room to unlock it and see if maybe the package was in there. And when he walked into the room, the package was just sitting on the floor. So I don't know what that was about. I know it had nothing to do with sterling ink. It had to do with the post office, but I am so lucky that he was able to pick that up for me. But I can't do an unboxing until he comes home, which actually he's coming home Monday to be here for the week. I have a few other new planners coming in that I want to try, and I'm excited to show you guys. And sorry for such a long outro, but if you guys enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, be sure to subscribe. And if you want to be notified whenever I post a new video, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.